Investing wisely demands a deliberate approach which is based on some basic fundamental principles of investing. As you decipher where to allocate your hard earned money, analyzing those success stories that you are getting and the performance of the existing investment vehicles will give you a good roadmap to a smart decision making towards your investing. Here, I'm giving you essential considerations before you commit your earned money into that next venture or investments. The first essential to consider is have a clarity of purpose, a clarity of reason. Set your SMART goal. You want to save for retirement. You want to invest for a vacation. You want to save to buy a car. You want to invest to buy a home. Whatever you intend to achieve through your investment, set it as a clear goal. Then once that has been done, then go to essential number 2. Assess your risk tolerance. Assess your ability to tolerate loss of money, because that is what is going to form your basis of choosing the specific vehicle where you want to put your money. Vehicle, I'm referring to the existing investment opportunities or investment products that are in the market by the fund managers. Those investment opportunities, the products, those vehicles are tailored to assume a certain category or level of risk. Where risk, we are looking at the potential of losing your money in investment. The assumed risks are categorized level 1 all the way to level 7, but that does not mean that higher level risks assume multiples of what is being assumed by the lower level risk categories. But knowing your risk tolerance or your risk appetite is what is going to form the basis of choices of the vehicles that you can use to invest your money. And that also goes towards when you are advising or you are engaging with your fund manager, you need to highlight the level of your risk appetite. That done, then we move to essential number 3. Have a thorough research of the specific investments. Analyze or understand that investment track record. Look at the market dynamics, the potential pitfalls. Know the non-negotiables when it comes to your investments. And on that basis, then, number 4, you are going to consider diversification. In as much as we outline essential number 2 as assessment of your risk tolerance, it is important to note that none of these investments that are available have zero risk. There is always a level of risk that is assumed by every investment vehicle. Diversification as a DIY on your end as an investor is another layer of risk mitigation on and above the risk adaptation and mitigation measures that are set out by the fund manager for a specific investment product. Diversification requires you to allocate your capital to different investment products, to different fund managers, different companies, different markets, different schemes, so that you don't put all the capital in one basket, as it's proverbially said that you have assumed a risk of losing all your eggs if they are in one basket. The fifth consideration is evaluate the liquidity level of that investment vehicle. Your different goals or purposes that you are attaching to your invested amounts would require different levels of access to that capital. You are supposed to analyze or evaluate the liquidity, accessibility of that investment vehicle before you join for investment. A short-term goal or an investment towards a goal that is to be attained in 3 months cannot be effectively made in an investment opportunity that has a locking period of 6 months. Because at the end of the day, if that was to be made possible, it will mean that this investor will forfeit the gains or the returns generated for the 3 months in order to be able to liquidate or access that capital to pursue the objectives or the purpose for which that investment was intended. In simple language, evaluating the liquidity of an investment vehicles is to enable you to match the objective or the purpose for that investment with the availability of the funds, accessibility of the funds from that investment. And that fund to be accessed or the capital to be accessed should be the actual amount that you invested or deposited to that investment vehicle and or the interest or income that has accrued as returns to that investment. Don't match a purpose with an investment vehicle that will lose the accumulated income because of accessing the fund earlier than it's scheduled. The sixth essential, examine and consider the fund charges and incidental fees. Different investment products, different fund managers will allocate charges in their investment products with the objective of maximizing their revenues from their own end. As an investor, take note and examine all the fees and the charges that are relevant to an investment vehicle before jumping into it. The incidental charges that you are incurring through that investment and the charges inbound on that investment, over time they will eat into the returns that are generated into that fund, and that will be an exposure to the invested amount. High investment costs in the long run eat into the returns of that investment. Essential number 7 is a scrutinize for credibility of the fund manager and the company. You need to trust your fund manager, and trust is gained through transparency, is gained through consistency, is gained through expertise of the fund manager. A lot of information can be accessed through the success stories from existing clients within the fund manager, within the investing in a specific product. Evaluate those reviews by existing clients to build credibility of the fund manager and the company. And number 8, keep an eye on the market changes, market trends, and economic indicators. Most of these collective investment schemes, they respond to changes in the market. There are several economic indicators that will prompt you to use flexibility that will help you to collect every other income that is possible from the investment vehicles that are available with your fund manager. The indicators or those market trends, because of the responsiveness of these investment platforms, they influence the performance of most of the investment products, and you monitoring those market trends and the economic indicators, you'll be ahead and you'll have noticed the changes to come and positioned yourself not to lose by holding your investment in poor returning investment vehicles. Be flexible enough. You should be able to commute your investment from one vehicle to another vehicle based on your personal investment policy. Be guided by your deliberate approach to investments, and you need to have a minimum acceptable return for your investments for purposes of growing your capital. You don't need to hold your investment in a 5% returning investment vehicle when you have similar products in the market that are giving you way higher than that. Holding your investment in just inflation beating returning opportunities is essentially losing growth on your capital. And 9, consider tax implications. You are a middle income earner if you are earning 25,000 to 200,000 on a monthly basis. That is a recollection of the reports from the National Bureau of Statistics. Most investment products come with varied tax liabilities. And lastly but not the least, time. Money grows through a function of time. Be patient with your investments. Give your investments time to compound. Investments require time to grow. So don't be swayed by the small changes or short-term fluctuations in the investment vehicles that you are in. But if you are able to apply flexibility within the same fund manager, where you can commute your investment from one vehicle to another vehicle without incurring a cost on that transfer, you are better off in accessing higher returns from the same platform. But the most important element in investment is that compounding, building or growing your capital would require time. Give your investments time, and as we had indicated in essential number 1, have your goals clear and separated, because separate goals would require separate investment vehicles in order for you to be deliberate in your investments. Personal financial redemption is acquired through building sufficient passive income that will enable you to start enjoying life, doing things that you like, because you will have saved or redeemed your time not to do things that just generate income to pay your bills, but you are generating money through doing things that you like. Thank you for watching, and see you in our next video.